Good evening, Belize. An early morning shutdown brings parts of northern Belize to a standstill. Buses block major highways, pressure mounts, and by day's end, a deal is on the table. Fuel subsidies and a fare increase after hours of tense negotiations. We'll take you to Tower Hill Bridge, where traffic stopped coal and commuters waited for answers. In crime news, a major break in a deadly case. A 19-year-old now charged in the murder of Jamir Cambranes. A historic moment for faith in Belize. Hundreds gather at the Belize City Center to celebrate the nation's first Anglican Archbishop, Philip Wright. And Belize takes center stage in the Caribbean, hosting a major tourism conference, drawing leaders from across the region. These stories and more tonight. News 5 starts now.
Last 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, April 27th. I am Sabrina Daly. After a morning that brought northern Belize to a virtual standstill, the crisis shifted fast, from blocked highways to an emergency meeting in Belmopan. Bus operators who shut down key roadways across the country forced the government's hand, triggering direct intervention from Prime Minister John Bersenio. By early afternoon, leaders of the Belize Bus Association were face-to-face with Transport Minister Dr. Louis Zabane and his technical team, racing the clock to defuse the standoff. The high-level talks, joined by the Office of the Prime Minister, wrapped up just moments ago after nearly 3 hours behind closed doors. News 5 was there as discussions ended and pressure remained high. Tonight's lead story is from Belmopan.
We had a very good meeting where we looked at two main areas, one being the subsidy that the government is offering to the Belize Bus Association. That would be $3 per gallon, and that's one. And secondly, based on their proposal as well, we will be looking at an increase in fares. Now we are halfway in the work because we still have to sit down together and go through the details. So, for example, with respect to the subsidy, we have to make sure that on our list we have all the bus operators with their respective road service permits listed accurately and clearly for the highway and the village. And we're also looking at city operators as well. So that's one half of the work that we have ahead. And then also with the increase in fares, we want to make sure that that all the different stops along the lines that was done last week, that those will be adjusted according to agreement that they had with the Prime Minister, right? So that's for us to complete tomorrow. And once that is completed, then we'd be able to make a joint formal statement about where we have come to. We're looking at 50 cents for short stops and $1 for the longer stops of the buses. So again, that has to be matched with the particular places that the buses stop along the highway. And that's the exercise that we are going to do in detail tomorrow.
Is this fare adjustment something that the National Bus Company will also have to abide by?
Yes, it will be across the board, all the highway operators and also all the village operators. And as I said, we're also in discussion about the city operators as well.
Bus operators admit the blockade was disruptive, but they say it got results. After hours of tense talks in Belmopan, the Belize Bus Association says a deal is now on the table that brings some relief for both operators and commuters. The compromise includes a modest fare adjustment paired with government support through reduced diesel taxes. BBA President Philip Jones argues the protest wasn't their first choice, but insists it forced action and that the outcome made the inconvenience worth it.
We're very pleased and the members are very satisfied due to the simple fact that, like the minister rightly said, it will be a minimal increase, right? So this decision was made based in the best interest of the general public and the daily commuters. And with this right here, it will be able to allow the operators to operate more efficiently and more responsibly due to the fact that, like I said before, this is a lifeline and the increase is very modest. It will be 50 cents in certain areas, 25 in certain areas, and $1 maximum. It will not exceed that. And in terms of the subsidy, it will only be for a 3-month period. I hope it didn't have to happen, but it happened. It's unfortunate, but we need to realize that we're dealing with emotions. Everyone have their own personal feelings, what they're going through. Everyone deal with situation differently. Me personally, I'm very pleased that no one was hurt. It was resolved quickly and peacefully, and I am very pleased with that result.
While everything is not in black and white, will service resume as normal?
My VP had the conversation with the Prime Minister, and they both came to an agreement, and it was resolved there and then, and I can safely say that they were both men of their word, and both sides, in gentleman terms, the agreement was kept on both sides, so it was clear, and most operation resumed back as normal.
The two sides are expected to meet again tomorrow to finalize the agreement, and new rates are expected to come into effect on Wednesday. With gas prices squeezing wallets and nerves already frayed, the Prime Minister weighed in just before news time tonight. As promised over the weekend, Prime Minister John Bersenio released a video statement addressing the ripple effects of rising global oil prices and the hit Belizeans are feeling at the pumps. He didn't stop there. The Prime Minister also laid out how his administration plans to respond to what he called an external economic shock and what relief, if any, Belizeans can expect moving forward.
In the last 2 months, world oil prices have surged by 76%, from about $60 to $105 per barrel. All this considered, let me assure you that there is no immediate threat to our fuel supply. While no buyer can be protected from what we see on the news every day about fuel supply, Belize's supply, currently estimated at some 5 million gallons per month, is so far assured. Yes, there have been and will continue to be adjustments to the price at the pump and to the prices of certain products and services related to fuel cost. Let me address the issue of the price we pay at the pump. When the acquisition cost of fuel rises, that is to say, the price paid by Puma and its suppliers, the excise tax collected by the government does not rise. This is a fixed amount. And this amount, the excise tax collected, has been significantly reduced by the government since the start of this crisis. In fact, the excise tax charged on regular gasoline has been cut by 68 cents, and the excise tax charge on diesel has been cut by $1.55. These two tax reductions amount to $4.7 million per month, or a projected $60 million for this budget year. I assure you that if the acquisition cost for fuel continues to rise, the Cabinet will consider further adjustments. We are mindful that if oil prices continue to rise, the government may need to introduce more substantial cost-saving measures.
The Prime Minister went beyond fuel prices and signaled tough cuts ahead. John Briceño addressed the tense talks with the Belize Bus Association, then outlined Cabinet's broader response to rising costs. His government will freeze $30 million in capital projects, cut another $35 million from goods and services, and slash travel, shifting international meetings online. Briceño says the goal is simple: ease the pressure on Belizeans as economic strain builds.
With regard to domestic transportation and the recent issues with our bus operators concerning bus fares, the Cabinet determined that pricing for routes operated by the nascent National Bus Company will remain at current rates. For private bus operators who demanded rate increases, the government has approved a generous subsidy that specifically covers the incremental fuel cost. Over the next 3 months, government will provide a $3 per gallon fuel subsidy to all private bus operators. This measure is intended to prevent any major increases in bus fares for commuters who travel within or outside their districts during this period. And I propose to go even further to tighten our belts so government embraces its fair share of sacrifice. Cabinet and I, therefore, have agreed to the following. Firstly, we will defer $30 million in capital expenditures previously programmed for this budget year. Secondly, $25 million will be cut from goods and services allocated across all ministries and departments. Thirdly, we will continue to tighten expenditure by significantly reducing foreign and local travel, which will require less subsistence for meetings. This will be achieved by insisting on attending and organizing meetings and conferences virtually. We will also continue to cut the government's fuel bill by limiting the use of government vehicles. At the end of the first quarter, we will assess budget performance to determine what additional measures are necessary. While we have made these hard adjustments, I want to emphasize that our social safety net spending will not be disrupted.
There's more news after the break, so stay tuned.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April, and the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
Now is the time.
join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Rock, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about city life, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
All right, you're all set. I swapped out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
For thousands of Belizeans, the daily commute ground to a halt today. Not because of an incident, but because patience ran out. Frustrated bus operators, locked in tense talks with the government of Belize over soaring fuel costs, rolled their protest straight onto the Philip Gosen Highway, turning negotiations into a full-blown traffic nightmare. The blockade stranded commuters for hours, drew swift police response, and ended only after a last-minute agreement. News 5's Paul Lopez takes us to the highway where tempers flared and pressure forced a breakthrough.
2 weeks of tense talks over fuel costs boiled over this morning. Frustrated members of the Belize Bus Association blocked the Philip Gosen Highway, bringing traffic to a standstill. At the height of the protest, police detained the bus operator at the Boom-Hattieville Junction, citing obstruction of traffic and ordering officers to clear the roadway.
And they detained to obstruct the free flow of traffic for that bus. Hold on, I want to say which bus? The yellow bus. The yellow one.
Before sunrise, the protest hit full throttle. Just after 4:30 a.m., bus operators parked their buses across the Tower Hill Bridge, shutting down the highway and stopping traffic cold. Police officers moved in quickly as the blockade unfolded.
That I fight for phone rights, brother. Correctly.
Exactly.
We fight for rights.
No sabes por nosotros, piensen, ¿me entiendes?
We fight for rights.
Felices no prospera.
A la misma vez tenemos un trabajo para hacer.
Sí, pero no pueden hacer interrupt en property. Ese es un property. Allá adentro es property del dueño. No pueden entrar allá adentro. No pueden entrar adentro del property.
¿Cuál es la manera para venir a hacer eso? Si tanto quieren, hablen con la persona. ¿Sabes qué? Tenemos que hacer esto y esto. ¿Entendemos?
No, fight with you, brother.
It marked the beginning of a 4-hour blockade with buses jackknifed across the highway at multiple points, including Guinea Grass Village and Ladyville. It affected all commuters traversing the highway, from students to employees, many of whom were caught by surprise. One affected commuter, a lab technologist, was concerned about his patients.
This is very affecting us a lot, and mostly that because we care for our patients, that we're trying to go out here and we're trying to reach our work. It's not because that we don't want to support the blockade. It's good that they're doing the blockade so that the government can see how serious the people are serious and how fed up we are fed up. They need to take into consideration and talk to everyone before they start making decisions on their own.
We also spoke with a teacher traveling from northern Belize who was caught in the roadblock.
I need to reach to San Pedro because I'm a teacher there, and it's very inconvenient. I woke up this morning early to catch the bus, and then at the terminal they told me that the bus are not running because they are going on strike. But what is very disappointing to me is that I didn't get any nobody didn't tell me that this was going to happen, and a lot of people stay stranded on the road.
These commuters were stuck on the road since 5 a.m.
I feel stressed, bad, because I want to make this day, I want to win this day, but we can't because this.
We still a collect.
Yeah.
Still a collect? You don't tell your boss? We do work.
Yeah?
Yes, man.
Will you tell your boss?
Huh?
Will you tell your boss?
We have to go. We're going to work, but
we know collect this day. We know collect.
We money to leave it, but we catch bus.
And despite the mounting frustration from stranded commuters, bus operators stood their ground, insisting the disruption was the only way to send a strong message to the Briceño administration.
Yesterday we had a meeting, and our president had informed the deputy prime minister of what action we will take if we don't get what we wanted.
Fuel price, our crisis right now, and what we do, how we are sustain our family if we got more than one kids home, right? And we try and make one living, go to work, come back, right? At the end of the day, if you watch your pocket, how much you spend on bus freight, go and come, how much you want to give to your house, and if you got bills to pay, right? If you owe bank, if you owe this institution, that institution, how you want to make 2 ends meet.
And the message landed loud and clear. Within hours, it reached the highest levels of government. Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Transport, Chester Williams, showed up on the scene with word that an agreement had been reached between the association and Prime Minister John Briceño. With that deal in hand, the buses moved and the blockade came to an end.
I am happy to see that the blockage has now been cleared. From what I'm told, there was a call between the Prime Minister and the Vice President of the BBA, Mr. Fraser, and certain concessions were made. And it's just a matter now to work out those the details of whatever has been agreed upon by the Prime Minister and the Vice Chair of the BBA.
We have agreed to give us the $3 discount from the fuel price. We will meet with Transport Department in Belmopan to do a slight fare adjustment. We have asked for a person from his office to be present because we believe that Mr. Zabane not a deal fair with us.
After hours of gridlock and mounting frustration from commuters, word of a deal brokered directly with Prime Minister John Briceño brought relief on the highway. There were also reports of a blockade in San Jose Socos village, where videos surfaced of one individual being detained. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The controversy over who really controls public transportation in Belize is heating up. The spotlight is now squarely on the National Bus Company and the government's role behind the scenes. Last week, the Belize Bus Association turned up the pressure, accusing Minister of Transport Dr. Louis Zabane of operating under a conflict of interest linked to the NBC. With those allegations gaining traction, we put the question directly to the minister during a press conference on Saturday. Who truly owns and runs the National Bus Company? His response follows.
Who we have said it is from day one. The National Bus Company is a public-private partnership between the government of Belize, bus operators, and not yet, whenever that occurs, institutional investors who may invest in the company. At this point, it is approximately 60% owned by the government of Belize and 40% owned by operators at this point as the ownership stands. I, as minister, being that the government is represented in this innovation by the Ministry of Transportation, I select the members on the board. The members on the board, just to repeat, so it's very, very clear.
Government members.
We have the government members are Director Logue, who is the chair lady of the board. We have another young lady, Miss Janelle Neal, former Senator Elena Smith, and Miss Miriam Paz. Okay, people who are well known in their respective areas and have been, in fact, very strong unionists in their own rights. From the operators, you have Mr. Sergio Chuk, who was the owner of Westline, and Mr. Jamie Williams, the owner of James Bus Line, and Mr. Codd, who represents the 10%, the smaller percentage of the other small operators. That's the configuration of the board. The CEO selected is Ms. Vanzi, who was one of the owners of Floralia.
Now here's where the numbers and the narrative start to clash. The Belize Bus Association says its call for higher fares is about keeping pace with the National Bus Company, claiming NBC charges as much as 19 cents per mile. But the Ministry of Transport is pushing back, flatly denying that any NBC route charges that rate at all. So who's right, and what do the figures really show?
NBC's rate is not 19 cents per mile, but I'll ask CEO to kindly elaborate on that point. On the first part of your question, it would have been bordering hypocritical if the NBC had gone and increased its prices right up to the maximum, for example, when we had always been saying, and I myself as the minister has been saying, that we do not want to increase prices. We want to ensure that we mitigate the impact of higher prices on our public, on our people. And then, had the NBC done that, what would have been the criticism? But uno me say that uno no want increase rates, no look pa uno the increase rates. And I will use this opportunity to just make this very clear. There is no check that comes from government to subsidize the NBC's expenses. All of the NBC's expenses are paid because it's a private company, right? It is just like if government were to send a check to any private business out there, something would be very wrong with that. That would be corruption.
And while the Ministry of Transport insists NBC's highest fares top out at 16 cents per mile on the western route, talks of sweeping fare hikes have hit a wall. For now, the conversation has shifted away from raising rates and towards one pressing issue: fuel subsidies. As bus operators locked down the Philip Gosen Highway this morning, police found themselves walking a tightrope. With tempers rising and traffic at a standstill, officers shifted into crowd control mode, working to protect the public while allowing the protest to play out without spiraling into confrontation. Uniformed police remained visibly deployed along the highway, focused on keeping the peace and preventing clashes. Authorities have since outlined how they managed to tense the tense standoff and the strategy behind keeping order during the disruption.
Certainly, it was a matter that we were monitoring for quite some time, and we had operational efforts in place. Certainly, we recognize that the issue that is raised is one that touches and concerns all Belizeans, and certainly we want to afford persons who are disgruntled the ability to protest. However, we have recognized also the need to maintain law and order to ensure that citizens are able to move and get to their respective locations at free will, at their liberty, certainly the directive was to ensure to avoid any confrontation and to conduct ourselves as professional as possible whilst the negotiations occur, and we are grateful that that did happen and we were able to conclude this morning's operation without any incident. I believe 3 persons were detained and issued with violation tickets and subsequently released.
Police say the operation concluded without incident. After the break, a routine Saturday drive turned fatal on the Thomas Vincent Highway. 1 man is dead after a violent collision between a motorcycle and an NBC bus, and police are still trying to figure out how it all went so wrong. But first, here's tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Insurance fact. Did you know Home Protector Insurance provides liability insurance that is for licensing? Public liability insurance for the hotels and guest houses protects the guests staying at the resort. Tour operators insurance for on-site tourists, and marine passenger liability for passengers. You take care of your guests, we'll take care of you. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Mornings with the kids are always busy, but having the space we need makes life easier. With the Jack T8, we have the comfort, reliability, and space we need. With fully breathable leather seats, 6-speed manual transmission, 9-inch LCD screen with Apple CarPlay and Android, 4-cylinder, fully turbo diesel, and space for my entire family. We can count on Jack to get us there safely and comfortably.
streets, change is taking shape every day. It all starts with game changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game changers are bringing this to life. Game changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the game changers.
Every idea starts with a curious mind. You're the girls who will build the future.
And that's what Girls in Tech is all about, helping you learn, discover, and see what is possible.
Each of you, if you want, you can be the innovators of the future.
The long-term objectives is to amplify their minds and the opportunities.
Police say they're starting to connect the dots in a deadly shooting that rocked Belize City last week. A few days after 19-year-old Jameer Cambranes was gunned down, investigators have made a key arrest, charging a teenage suspect as they push forward with the murder probe. But police say the work is far from over. 3 more persons of interest are still being sought, and the motive remains unclear. Authorities credit surveillance footage and forensic work for the breakthrough so far. Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacey Smith has the latest on where the investigation now stands.
As a consequence of the ongoing investigation into the murder of 19-year-old Jameer Cambranes, which occurred on 22nd April 2026, police have formally arrested and charged 19-year-old Kenrick Robinson of Belize City for the crime of murder. Police are seeking 3 more male persons in connection with this investigation. No clear motive has been established. However, I can say that this arrest and the other impending arrests are substantiated by footages that have been retrieved from the Crime Fusion Center, and as I indicated on the last occasion, the processing of both the scene and the vehicle also aided in the investigation.
Police say the investigation remains active, with surveillance footage and forensics processing playing a critical role. A Saturday evening drive turned deadly on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway. Police are now working to piece together what went wrong after a collision between a motorcycle and an NBC bus claimed the life of 45-year-old Arnaldo Suchite of San Juan Village. Responders found Suchite critically injured and unresponsive at the scene following the head-on crash. Early indications suggest the motorcycle may have crossed into the bus's path, but investigators say it's too soon for conclusions as the probe continues.
The investigation commenced at around 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, 25th April 2026, when police were advised of a road traffic accident between miles 24 and 25 on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway. The investigating officer reported that upon his arrival, he observed an injured and unresponsive Suchite, and he also observed a damaged Lifan brand motorcycle, as well as a bus belonging to the National Bus Company, which also showed damage to the left side. What we have uncovered so far in the course of the investigation is that the motorcycle and the bus were traveling in opposite direction, and it is alleged that the motorcycle, which Suchita was driving, veered into the lane of the bus, causing the collision. A notice of intended prosecution has been served on the driver on the bus. I believe a sample has also been taken from him as it relates to the deceased male person. A toxicology report will provide clarity as to that.
The crash has also sparked wider discussion among drivers about night driving safety, including visibility issues and faded road markings along that stretch of the highway. Police say a series of coordinated operations across the country has resulted in multiple arrests tied to the trafficking of crack cocaine. As law enforcement continues its push against the illicit drug trade, 6 individuals from different districts have now been formally charged in connection with the seizures. Police provided details on the arrests and the quantities of drugs recovered.
Police have formally arrested and charged 6 persons who are believed to be peddlers of crack cocaine for the offense of possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply, more commonly known as drug trafficking, as a consequence of several operations that were conducted countrywide over the past week. Eddie Hernandez of San Ignacio was charged for possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply in relation to 4.66 grams of cocaine. Joshua Burns of Cotton Tree Village in relation to 2.8 grams of cocaine. Stefan Hyde and Jayani Wade of San Pedro for 2.8 grams of cocaine. Gilliam Mejia of Belmopan City, she was charged for 2 counts in relation to 1.25 grams of crack cocaine and 5.5 grams of crack cocaine, as well as Burton Goroy of Belize City, who was also charged for 2 counts in relation to 28.7 grams of cocaine and 90.9 grams of crack cocaine.
Police say the charges are the result of sustained countrywide efforts and investigations aimed at disrupting the illegal drug trade and bringing traffickers before the courts. A bold pre-dawn heist in Belmopan has police chasing more than just a stolen pickup. It may have cracked open a wider operation tied to cross-border trafficking. Just before 4 o'clock Saturday morning, masked men stormed the Football Federation of Police compound, overpowered the lone security guard, grabbed the keys and sped off in a white Toyota Hilux. Police across the West moved fast, set up checkpoints, and caught up with the vehicle near Kaya Creek Bridge. One suspect is now in custody, 2 others are still on the run, and investigators believe this may be part of something much bigger. Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith walks us through how it unfolded and what police are now uncovering.
The investigation commenced on Saturday, 25th April 2026 at around 3:40 a.m. when officers in Belmopan were advised of the theft of a white Toyota Hilux being the property of the Football Federation of Belize. The security guard reported that he was inside the booth at around that time when he was awakened by 2 masked male persons forcing their way into the booth. Upon making their entry into the booth, they are reported to have restrained the male person, being a security guard, and took a key belonging to the Hilux and eventually drove off with it. Upon learning of this information, the standard operating procedures were put into place because we are aware that when vehicles are stolen, they are done with a view to taking them across the border in Guatemala. So all of the policing efforts in the western region as well as the operational units were mobilized at strategic locations. This proved favorable as the vehicle was spotted along Santa Rosa Road sometime around 3:55 a.m. and it was pursued, and that pursuit concluded near Kala Creek Bridge. Police have since detained 1 male person and are seeking 2 others as a part of this ongoing investigation.
Police say no one was found inside the vehicle, but with video footage now in hand, they're moving closer to wrapping up the case. Coming up, a night on the water nearly turned deadly near Secret Beach. A tourist and a boat captain drifted helplessly for hours in open sea. barely live to tell the story.
Your security, our top priority. We guard your world with strength and integrity. From home, cars and rentals, business too. We make protection simply easy for you. BB Insurance, trusted and true. Clear policies assured. Fast claims too. No appointment needed. Just swing by. Locations countrywide where peace resides.
BB Insurance, your security, our priority.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about city, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep my coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's all about taking nature's beauty and creating something uniquely beautiful. I've had inspiration from the Belize Blue Bull, the beaches, the jaguar. I've launched a new product called Co-Design with Deb, and Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has opened the door to my international customers so I can receive payments so they can have their custom pieces shipped to them.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, We empower Belize.
This week, the Caribbean's tourism spotlight is shining on Belize. The country is playing host to one of the region's largest tourism gatherings, welcoming more than 300 delegates from 29 countries for the 17th Caribbean Conference on Sustainable Tourism Development. Hosted by the Belize Tourism Board in partnership with the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the conference opened today under the theme Tourism in Full Color, highlighting how the region can grow its tourism industry while protecting the environment it depends on. And in the Caribbean, tourism isn't just business. It's the backbone of the economy, accounting for about a third of regional GDP and, in some island states, nearly 90%. Opening the conference, Tourism Minister Anthony Muller greeted delegates with a message of pride, celebrating Belize's natural beauty and rich cultural heritage.
To our international guests who are visiting for the first time, you are in a country that holds extraordinary natural and cultural wealth. And all this in 8,867 square miles. And for those of you who don't know, that's about twice the size of Jamaica. We could push out with chest, right? And as one people, we've built a nation of warmth and cultural richness. This is Belize, where the natural world and the human story are extraordinary and truly worth protecting. This is precisely why we're here this week, to advance sustainable tourism across the Caribbean and beyond. The survival of our economies, our people, and our planet depends on the way we grow and manage our tourism industry. Tourism is one of the world's largest industries and a major pillar of development for over 140 countries. According to UN Tourism, international tourist arrivals reach a record 1.5 billion tourists globally in 2025, generating an estimated $2.2 trillion in export revenues. Of those arrivals, the Caribbean welcomed an estimated 70 million visitors to our shores, half for cruise and half for the overnight sector. For many of our nations, tourism is not merely a sector of the economy, it is the economy.
The conference runs throughout the week with sessions focused on climate resilience, community development, and the future of Caribbean tourism. A tourist and a boat captain narrowly escaped disaster Friday night after drifting for nearly 4 hours in open water near Secret Beach on Ambergris Key. The pair slipped away from their boat while swimming at a sandbar and were left fighting the current as darkness closed in. Back on board, a third passenger steered the vessel alone toward the lights of Secret Beach and sounded the alarm. What followed was a frantic, community-wide search involving police, the Coast Guard, emergency responders, and a local boat and local boaters, sparked in part by a Facebook alert. Rescuers finally spotted the exhausted pair wading through shallow water toward shore. EMT Abner Bakab was among the first on scene, calling it a rescue that came just in time.
Once we arrived on location, we met the female there. We spoke to her, tried to get some information, and that's when we knew that it was her, that it was 3 persons, herself, a friend, and a boat captain that had been on the tour, and they had went to a sandbar nearby. And after a while, the 2 persons had entered the water. I don't know if probably the water was a bit with current and they drifted a little bit away, or they just swam away. And, at some point, the female on the boat could not locate them. She tried calling for them, trying to see if there's any response. It was getting dark, night was coming in without no response. So her first thing she did was she was able to start the boat, and she could have seen the lights at Secret Beach. So she went towards the light, and that's how she ended up at the dock, and where the people that live on the property met her, and they asked her what's happening, and we got the call. We went on searching maybe like half an hour or a little bit more, 45 minutes. I received a call from my son that was on shore, saying that they were hearing somebody screaming close by, So they had lights. They were able to get in the boat, go closer to them, and they found them there. They were coming towards shore, but they were a bit tired, extreme fatigue, and just a little bit weak. The other two persons, thankfully, they were brought to shore safely. None of them suffer any severe injuries or anything more than that.
Bakam says shallow waters and local knowledge helped them to reach shore, but stressed the need for future safety planning. A frightening early morning encounter with a crocodile has left a woman injured on Key Caulker. Police say the incident happened while the victim was swimming near a popular seaside area, prompting renewed concerns about safety along the island's coastline. Authorities have since provided details on what unfolded and the condition of the injured woman.
Acting on information received, police visited the Kikaka Health Center where they met with Nicole Robinson, an American national and businesswoman of Kikaka, who reported that sometime around 3:30 a.m., she and other friends took a swim in front of Sit and Dip, and while she was in the water, she was pounced upon by a crocodile which bit her on her elbow. She was transported for medical attention, and she is listed in a stable condition.
Residents and visitors are being reminded to exercise caution when entering coastal waters, especially during late night hours. On Sunday morning, Belize paused to honor a historic moment in its spiritual life. Clergy, congregants, and well-wishers gathered for a service of recognition at the Belize City Center, celebrating the Most Reverend Philip S. Wright, Belize-born Anglican bishop who has risen to become Archbishop, Primate, and Metropolitan of the Church in the province of the West Indies. The ecumenical service marked a milestone not just for the Anglican Church, but for Belize itself, recognizing the journey of a pastor who began his ministry at home and now carries regional leadership across the Caribbean. Here are the sights and sounds from yesterday's celebration.
The Most Reverend Philip S. Wright, B.A.M.A.O.B.E., Bishop of Belize, Archbishop, Primate, and Metropolitan of the Church in the province of the West Indies. Ladies and gentlemen, he processed to the altar, to the stage, where we will continue with this.
And I love how you said that with so much pride and
yes.
Your Grace, accept this Bible. Continue to be among us as one who proclaims the word.
Amen. Edition of the prayer book, the Right Reverend.
Your Grace, receive this prayer book and be among us as a man of prayer.
Your Grace, take this bread
and wine
and be among us to break the bread and bless the cup.
We had the presentation of the bread and wine by the Right Reverend Charles Davidson from Guyana.
I receive these symbols of my ministry as Archbishop of the Church in the province of the West Indies, and I urge you to pray with me and for me, that the Holy Spirit will continue to direct and uphold me in the service of Christ and His kingdom. Amen.
The Archbishop saying thank you as he had received these items.
Up next, a look at weekend sports with Paul Lopez.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
The Conversation Shaping Belize, live at 6:30 a.m. We're exploring the future of innovation at the Belize Digital AI Summit, looking at how artificial intelligence is transforming the way we live and work. Then, Digi Belize joins us with the latest deals and promotions you won't want to miss. Plus, we take an important look at the IAS Symposium on HIV response, highlighting progress, challenges, and what it means for public health in our region. Informative, relevant, and impactful. Tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes.
Good evening, I am Paul Lopez here with this week's installment of Sports Monday. We begin tonight with a quick overview of this weekend in the National Elite Basketball League. 3 games were slated to play over the weekend and only 2 materialized. On Friday night, the Corozal Spartans hosted the Belize City Defenders in the north. The Spartans were unable to defend home turf and lost the game by a whopping 42 points. The Defenders finished with 92 while the Spartans secured 50 points. In Belmopan, the Trojans hosted Kaya Western Ballers, and again it was another road victory. Western Ballers defeated the Trojans 98 to 77 points. In Dangriga, the Dream Ballers were set to host the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, but moments after both teams lined up, the Dream Ballers walked off the court in protest. Reports to News 5 indicate that Dream Ballers' management were not in agreement with Tiger Sharks' decision to place new signee Takin Ross that night. The Dream Ballers protested the legitimacy of his appearance on the roster. We await an official announcement from the league on whether the match will replay, but fans were certainly left disappointed. And from league basketball to upskilling coaches, over the weekend the Belize Global Elite Academy hosted a full-on basketball coaching clinic. We stopped by the session at the Hub Resource Center, where we found out how the facilitators plan to elevate the game of basketball in Belize.
What we're having today is a coaches clinic for all coaches, whether you're a beginner coach, coaching in the youth program, primary school, high school, elite level coach. It's just a coaching clinic to better your knowledge on coaching in general.
What we're trying to do with the Belize Global Elite Academy is we're trying to develop coaches based on not just X's and O's and offenses and defenses. We're trying to teach them how to plan, how to create standards and culture for their teams, and we want to develop the coaches of Belize.
Most people know me as a football coach, but now I'm going into basketball coach, and I'm always advocating for females to come into the sports. So like for today, I will be presenting on coaching conduct of coaches today. So I'm privileged that I will be doing that today.
And finally, we have been closely following the Futures Football League, and the tournament finally came to a close over the weekend. Several weeks of games were played and champions were crowned in the under 10 and under 13 categories. First place in the under 10 category went to Future Football Club, and the club also secured first place in the under 13 category. Ebony FC secured second place in both categories, while Belize United won third in the under 10 and Leaders of Tomorrow won third in the under 13 category. We spoke with the organizer of the event.
We started this tournament on the 14th of March and we're concluding today. I have been doing this from actually 2017, this tournament, so it's predominantly the only tournament that is constantly being in and out every year, right? So for me, it's just to, we know that we have a lot of these kids all through the country, and we try to emphasize that it's not only about just football. We want them to come and mingle with the different society kids and engage and in positivity of the football that we are promoting.
Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.
With den lata old boss. Look ya. Turning to digital story, UDP Senator says ramen is sickening our people. Angel Mesh shared. Did the government force Belizeans to eat ramen? No. People choose their way of living. There are many more other things more nutritious and cheaper than ramen, but the people decide what to eat. Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.